As an African, I do understand our thought process and our struggles, and probably I might be the best person to guide you on what exactly and where exactly to apply for teaching jobs in Japan. Let's break it down. My name is Upendanice Barasa. I moved to Japan to teach English from Kenya. If you're interested, subscribe. You don't want to miss it. Come on, join the bandwagon. Hi, my name is Nice Upendo Barasa. I'm from Kenya and I work and live in Japan as an English teacher. I do understand the worries for my Africans. Come on. I'm an African myself and I do work with a lot of Africans over here. I understand our struggles, therefore, I think this is a very good video for us or for you as an African who is thinking about teaching English in Japan. Japan does have good opportunities. The money might not necessarily be the best, but I would say it's not bad for a start, for a beginner, especially if you're back in the continent, no job, nothing, you're just seated at home, it's difficult to find a job, no money. I think Japan is a great place to start. And then once you get your foot inside the country, you can pivot from there. You can even get opportunities to teach outside of Japan, like in other countries where the pay could be better, compensation and benefits could be better, because Japan has given you the stepping stone, or Japan was the stepping stone for that journey. I say this because many people are discouraged. When you watch videos from like Americans, people from the UK, like first world countries, you're really discouraged because for them, they would say something like, Japan doesn't pay much, the pay is little, which is true. But you see, what are they comparing it to? They're comparing it to America, where maybe the average salary is like 2,000 US dollars. But if you're from Africa, where in some countries the monthly wage is like 150 US dollars, 100 US dollars, and there's a country that is willing to pay you as much as 1,500 or up to 2,000 US dollars. Why not take the opportunity? It's a good place to start. It's not much, but you can't really compare. You have nothing to compare it to. There's nothing better for you to say, oh, let me just stay because I earn this much. But somebody from a first world country, they would come to teach English in Japan as, to pass time, as a gap year, to take time from the things that they do. And they always have the opportunity or the chances to go back to their country and make money as they wish. So I do understand this. Yes, disclaimer. I don't think Japan is the place where you can come and expect to build your parents a home. I don't think it's the country you will make most of your money in, but I do believe it's the country that is going to get you started in your career and you making money. If I'm being honest, you can save, but you need maybe time, probably, and you'll need to work a lot harder, and you just need an understanding family, because I do know where we come from, and I think, the African mindset, sometimes people think that once you're abroad, you have a lot of money. Even if you just arrived yesterday, as long as people just say, oh, so-and-so went to Japan, so-and-so went to America. Literally, everyone believes suddenly you're so rich, you have a lot of money. Miss, sir, I just arrived yesterday. But that's the mindset. So I really get it. When you're thinking about teaching English in Japan, please be sure to prepare your parents or your family members. Let them know that if there's a loan that they're going to give you to bring you to Japan, or if they expect any financial support, they have to be patient. It can't be within the first year they're asking for millions. The first month they're already asking for millions, because that money is not here. It really isn't. So what are the best companies to apply for teaching positions in Japan for Africans? I sat down and came up with this list, and this is the criteria that I used. We do have some dispatch companies in Japan who do not pay their ALTs during holidays, which means if you're at home for summer, which is usually like a month and a half or almost 2 months, it means that for 2 months you're not going to get paid. There are also some companies which pay people depending on the number of days they worked. Meaning that if you worked for 2 weeks in a month, you only get paid for 2 weeks. And I believe this is not something that would work well for African people, because, we don't have that much money. That's surplus. If your family is depending on you, if you have a daughter back home, a son, a husband, a wife, a family that's struggling, You don't want to get employed by a company that pays you only for the days that you worked, or they don't pay you during summer, because in those months you still need to provide for yourself in Japan, pay taxes, pay for utilities and food and rent, but at the same time also send money back home. School fees cannot wait, food cannot wait. So what are the best companies? My first pick would be JET. The JET program, if it's available in your country, I know it's only available in South Africa. So if you're from South Africa and you're thinking of teaching English abroad in Japan, I think JET would be a great place to start, because it's very competitive, but the money is also good, and you'll not be worried about months being unpaid or days being unpaid or not getting your full salary at the end of the month. The next program, it's not JET, is Interac. Interac is a dispatch company, and they do pay their ALTs throughout the year. Like even summer, you're at home for 2 months, yes, you'll still get paid. They don't count how many days were worked, how many days you did not work. You will always get your full salary at the end of the month, regardless of how many days you worked. The other two companies would be Gaba. I think Gaba, I really don't understand how Gaba works as well, because I don't know whether they're a dispatch company or a conversational school, but I think they lean more towards a conversational school. I think they're like a language stroke conversational schools. They have branches around Japan, but I do know that many language schools or conversational schools do pay their ALTs. They don't go unpaid during summer holidays, or throughout the month, as well as Nova. I will stroke Gaba and Nova together because they almost do the same thing. The next company or dispatch company will be Altia Central. Altia Central, the only downside is they only work within the central part of Japan, which is Kyushu. Is it Kyushu? I'm not sure. But the central part of Japan, which means that if you're looking to explore other parts of Japan, like Kanto area, any other cities in Japan, you probably might not be able to, because they mostly cater for the central part of Japan, which means that geographically or like location-wise, you are just restricted to the central part of Japan. Which, if you ask me, it's not really a bad thing, but it could be a problem if you really have a strong preference to stay within a particular area. But if you're just getting into Japan, I mean, you really don't have a choice. Just take what is given to you. And then once you get your foot in the country and you've settled, you can always look for opportunities in the cities that you would want to teach in. Companies to be cautious. Yeah, I feel like from the stories that I've had, if you don't mind it, I mean, there are many people who still work for these companies, but if you don't mind it, I would say Borderlink, Heart Corporation, so. I think Borderlink is slightly better than Heart. If you ask me, from people I've talked to, Borderlink is slightly better. It's not bad, but I've had stories of people going unpaid, some days going unpaid, which means that if you're an African person and you know the struggle, you're still recovering financially from debt that brought you to Japan, or you need to provide for a child or for your family back home, somebody's depending on you, it might not be the best route for you. So you might want to focus on Altia, Interac, Nova, Gaba, JET. But if you really want the job so badly and you're good with finances and you know you can maneuver and figure it out, you can start with Borderlink Heart Corporation to just get foot into the country. And then after the first year, after you've finished your first contract, you can start looking for other opportunities. But there's a loophole around it. You can apply for part-time jobs for Saturdays where you can earn a decent amount of money. Also during summer, we have a lot of summer camps where people get short contracts like 2 weeks, 1 week, or a month during summer to just work, and you get paid for that amount, for that period of time. So you can always find your way around it. I hope that this motivates you and informs your decision when you're thinking about taking the step forward when it comes to applying to teaching English in Japan as an African. If you do have any questions, please write me an email. I'm always happy to answer questions. And also on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at OpenOniceBarasa. Subscribe to the channel, like. See you again next time. Bye.